Hey guys, happy Treadmill Tuesday. No sombrero today, no more Cinco de Mayo, just regular old visor. So let's get right to it. So we are finishing our trilogy here, series on habits. So I started the first week with Atomic Habits by James Clear. Last week I talked about Brendon Burchard and high performance habits. So that leaves, the last one is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And whoops, good thing they're not made of glass. Anyway, why we do what we do in life and business. Now, I'm probably about, oh my God, so there go all my props. So I'm about halfway through this book, but so do you have a habit that you want to change, something that you do? For instance, the author talked about every day at work, right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he would go upstairs to the 14th floor of his office, buy a chocolate chip cookie, and then he would talk to his coworkers. So he was doing this every day for weeks and then months, and then he had to change the size of his pants, and then he decided he's going to investigate, why am I doing this? And what he figured out was, so he did he tested some different theories. So then he went and he bought a chocolate bar and he ate it at his desk. And then another way he changed it was he went upstairs, but he didn't buy anything. So what he figured out is that there was a system, a cue, a routine, and then a reward. So his cue was that it would be about 3:30 in the afternoon, and he would just feel the need, he just like had to get up from his desk and go upstairs. So he just figured he'd buy a cookie. And so then that was his routine. And then his reward was he would be socializing with people. So what he figured out, socializing with his coworker, what he figured out, it had nothing to do with the cookie. He wanted to socialize. So what he had to dissect his own habit, transform it. So he was still doing the same thing. He would go upstairs, but he would talk to his coworkers. That was his reward, but he didn't buy the cookie. So he changed his habit. He said he lost 12 pounds. I'm sure he probably was doing, maybe he had a treadmill at his office. Maybe he was doing a little walking there at work. But the idea, guys, is that if you have a habit that you want to change, what Charles Duhigg figured out, that there's a cue, there is a routine, and then there's a reward. So if you have something that is not really a great habit, look into it, dissect it, because this book will tell you how habits work, and it gets kind of nerdy and fun. I really liked it because it talked a lot about brain science, and it talks about, that we end up developing keystone habits, one of those being willpower. So the good news is willpower can be built like a muscle over time. So if you really recognize the habits that you have, and you start to really think about what you're doing, you can start to build better habits. You can replace your bad habits with good ones. So, like the key to exercising on a regular basis, losing weight, becoming more productive, achieving success, this is all done through habits. So if you can understand how habits work, and in the other two that fell on the floor, just know that habits aren't destiny. That we can harness the science, nerdy stuff in here, and then we can transform our businesses, our communities, and then our lives by understanding these habits that we've developed. So if you can diagnose your own habits, you can change them to be whatever way you want. So for example, one of the things to think about, they talk about, is making your bed in the morning. Here's your action item, tomorrow morning. So the cue is you get out of the bed, you stand up. You got to get out of bed in the morning. So as soon as you stand up, that is your cue. You look down and you see the bed's messy. Okay, so the routine is you make your freaking bed. And the reward is, oh my God, I've accomplished something before I even left my bedroom. So that simple act, and it just starts from there on. Now some people, let's change this to running. Some people, the cue is their alarm clock goes off in the morning. The routine is the night before they had set their running clothes out your shoes and your outfit. So you just jump into it and then you go out for a run first thing. And the reward is getting it done with for the day. So you have your whole day ahead of you. Whether you walk, whether you run, whatever, whether you go, well, nobody's going to the gym right now, let's face it. But previously, that could have been something you would do. Is that would be your routine, and then your reward is getting it done with and having the rest of the day. So, guys, do you have a habit that you want to change? Think about, now don't be changing your good habits. Keep those. But a habit that may not be serving you well, especially during this quarantine. Maybe some of you all are getting up and getting chocolate chip cookies at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Why? Understand why are you doing that behavior. If we stop and we think about it instead of going on autopilot, that's where habits get to be destructive, is when we just don't think about it, we just automatically do the behavior. I got one more example for you because this is happening in our house. You know, they're talking about behaviors being automatic. Think about when you back out of your driveway. You take you're going to go someplace, whether it's to work, whether you're putting on your mask and you're going to the grocery store. You open up the garage door and you back out of the driveway. Do you have to think about that? No. We have a 16-year-old in our house who is learning to drive, who has told us she swears she's never going to get her license because she can't finish her driving training right now because of the quarantine. But anyway, she's terrified to back out of the garage and subsequently going in it. Now, I don't blame her. Our garage is pretty darn narrow. And Robin knocked it off, hit the rear view, the side mirror one time. So maybe that's in her mind too. But anyway, just thinking about a habit, which is backing out of the garage, we don't have to think about it. But when it's new, you do. So anyway, this concludes our series. In the underlying thing I want to leave you with the trilogy on the books on habits is, guys, these are not set in stone. It's going to take some work. But habits, poor habits that we have, we can change them. It's all within us. You just have to notice it and then be able to say, why am I doing this? And how can I make some change in my cue, the reward, or the routine, and then the reward. So, make your bed tomorrow. That's your first habit. You don't think about it when you brush your teeth, do you? So it's going to be, maybe some of you already are making your beds. Good for you. So, everybody have a great week. Make your beds, change your habits, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.